It's time for day 21. 6 repetitions of push-ups every minute, on the minute, for 6 minutes, or 10d6. So what I find quite awesome is just doing the math. It's been 21 days since I started out with 1 repetition each minute, 10 repetitions total. We're now going to be at 60, which is a 600% increase. Now that is, of course, insane and unsustainable, but it's also just 3 weeks to experience, to try, to test, just to find a more accurate limit. And what I mean by that is, instead of going hard, maybe too hard, I start from, well, not absolute 0, but I started from 10, from 1 repetition, from the sort of absolutely lowest standard. And for efficient training, it is so much more important to undershoot the target and then elevate, instead of going in with what I would call just like fear-based training mentality. Where the sort of first principle governing every training session is, what if I don't do enough? And I would say this is almost the dominant norm that I've seen as a coach over 10 years. There is a small subset of people that go the other direction, but it's not even close. We're so scared of not training hard enough, doing enough volume, enough exercises, enough sessions. And it is such a waste, okay? The basics is, your recoverable volume, okay? This is how much stimulus you can handle. And let's just say for me, it was 10, and I started at 10. That's awesome. That means I will be able to recover from it and adapt and actually grow. If I don't know what this is, and if I just spitball and go hard, chances are I'm not recovering and I'm not adapting. So what does that mean? Well, if I have 10 recovery and I have 45 stimulus, I'm just going to recover 10, and 35 will just be wasted. On the other hand, if I have 45 recovery and I do 10 stimulus, I'm still going to recover 10. Nothing will be wasted. It will just be surplus. that surplus energy and physical capacity. If I start from the bottom and I build up, I will know. I will start to immediately feel the difference in the quality of my recovery between sessions. I will see what I've seen now over the past 3 weeks is that I recover extremely well. I adapt. Yeah, I adapt extremely well. It's not like I'm just doing more repetitions and getting more fatigue. No, I do more repetitions, they feel better, I feel stronger, the quality is higher, and when I inevitably reach a wall, it will be so clear to me because the output, the performance will dip in contrast to where I started at a very, very low stimulus, very low intensity, low volume, but super high quality. Now I maintain that quality and I just level up until I meet at some sort of balance points between what my recovery is able to adapt to. At that point, that will be precise. At that point, I will be, optimized. I will be investing just the amount of effort and time and stress from my body that I am able to recover from. No energy is wasted. No gain is left on the table. And this is, I would say, one of the most underappreciated ways to approach training. The vast majority of people are overstimulating themselves. You're adding too much stress on the body. And they are getting no return from it. They're actually wearing themselves down over time because the next session is going to come in too short a frequency window. They will not have recovered fully, and they will add more stress and recover even less and less and less and less in a downward spiral. Or they are able to recover, but the stress that it leaves on the body and the system detriments the overall quality of life. So why is this so important? Well, I think 2017, I made an experiment of eating vegan and 1 meal a day. So like 23 hours fasting every day. Both to test this as a longevity approach, as a health and performance approach, but also as a sustainability approach. of seeing, where's the sweet spot, once again, sweet spot between how I can restrict myself in some way to benefit, well, the collective, the environment, Mother Earth, all of it, but still benefit the collective through being healthy and vibrant and vital. And it became pretty clear to me that, well, if I restrict my eating window, the density of the energy in my food, I had to minimize and compact my training efforts. I couldn't just waste energy. And so I kept doing that. I stopped eating vegan, I stopped eating one meal a day, because it was actually maybe good for the environment, but it was certainly not good for me. It severely limited me. But I kept the training principles, and I've just refined and refined. And what I find is that if we're simply precise, measured in what inputs we give our bodies, we get so much back. There's really no need to crush ourselves at the gym in any form of training session. It should simply feel good. We should feel fresh afterwards. We should feel better the next time we do it. And it's simply, an input-output equation. So, how much can I recover from, and what stress am I introducing to my system? How much does it cost? How much do I have in my bank account? And what's the return? Well, the return is massive, because the bank account keeps growing if we do this. And we'll be able to do more and more, with less or equal effort. And if we're doing it this way, the time will stay consistent. I don't need to train for longer amounts of time. I can just add and add and add and add. And the value per time, per effort will keep increasing. And the transfer to my daily life is, of course, immeasurable. Not just how I look or how I feel, but my energy, my resilience, or maybe most important of all, who I am, who I become by showing up here every day. This small but increasingly valuable investment of time and energy. So that's all I have for you today. Join the community with the link in my bio, and connect with others, follow along, leave your experience in the comments, follow my template in the community, ask me any questions or feedback, and we'll see what I can swing up. Have a nice day.